Welcome to Friday, November 24th, 2023, your day weather podcast brought to you by Hot Springs County Travel and Tourism, reminding you that even as temperatures continue to fall and snow is on the horizon, in Thermopolis, you can always find yourself in hot water. Well, the Deere picture here kind of sums things up as how it looks all across the Intermountain West with the Arctic air spilling in, bringing snow and just a real widespread winter pattern across the region. Travel conditions very poor overnight and early this morning across a lot of the Intermountain West, especially parts of Wyoming and Colorado and adjacent states. The heavier snow will be shifting south. The light snows are going to persist over most of Wyoming, central and southern counties throughout the day, even into early Saturday. The heavier snows now more towards Interstate 70, the Front Range of Colorado, southern Colorado, New Mexico, spreading out across the plains of Kansas and parts of southwest Nebraska into the Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle region. So poor travel weather is going to continue into early Saturday for most areas. We also still have some very gusty east to northeast winds out there, especially along Interstate 80, and that'll be a problem throughout the day. Now, travel weather does begin to improve tomorrow, especially in the northern areas. Best travel weather for all areas will be on Sunday. The pattern, though, is going to remain very active across the west in the long term. For the rest of this month into early December, it looks busy. Looks like we're going to see systems coming across the U.S., off the Pacific, keeping us into what is essentially an early winter pattern. I think we can say that winter is here. Satellite imagery this morning, you can detect a little bit of a swirl, a counterclockwise rotation in the clouds there over northeastern areas of Utah. That is overriding the Arctic air. And these blue patches you can see this extension and the expansion of the blue here in northeast New Mexico. That's where the leading edge of the Arctic air is right now. So the Arctic air and the colder low-level clouds you get in the Arctic air spilling also back into the Great Basin states. And this is what we are looking at in terms of National Weather Service winter weather advisories and warnings in effect. So you can see there's a large chunk of real estate in the west where you're going to have winter weather conditions persisting today, tonight, and into tomorrow. And there's the low over Utah. So things are just transpiring and going about as expected. So today and into Saturday, that low will be overhead. By Sunday morning, it begins to move to the east rapidly, but northwest winds aloft promise to pump in the cold air, keeping us very chilly well into next week. This is what the next 72 hours looks like in terms of precipitation. So you're going to see really icy roads and bad travel weather conditions right here with widespread snow and just really icy conditions. Look at the Interstate 40 corridor here. Then, of course, look at the western slope and the western mountains of Colorado with light snows continuing at times along the I-25 and I-80 corridors. But you can see Montana, northern Wyoming, the Dakotas here just basically down to flurries. And there's where your snowfall over the next 72 hours will occur. And you can find out where you're going and find out where the travel problems are going to be found. Across the lower 48, this takes us through Monday. Lake effect snows into the Great Lakes. Some snows, light snows, but enough to cause problems in the upper Midwest. Over the next 5 days, the cold sticks. So this is for today through Tuesday. So the temperature anomaly over all the lower 48, well below average, with the coldest of the cold right here in our neck of the woods. Again, nothing record-breaking, just very cold late November temperature readings. Now, we talked about the weather pattern staying active. This is for Thursday, the last day of the month. Very strong jet stream winds are going to be occurring across the North Pacific. And when you have that, as we've talked about before, cold season, strong jet stream winds across the Northern Pacific are just going to produce fronts and storms. And this is going to bring an increase of weather to the Pacific Northwest, the California coast, and drive what's left of these storms into the Rockies. Very cold air is residing and continuing to build over that Hudson Bay area. This is a wintry look to the pattern now. So this is Thursday, and this is by next Saturday. So there's another low coming. So you can see Saturday, see these tight gradient, we would call this, how those black lines are very closely packed together. This means a really strong jet stream coming off the North Pacific. This is a great way to build snowpack, is what this is. This is going to bring mountain snows to the Intermountain West the west coast mountain ranges as well over the next 7 to 10 days. You can see over the next 30 days, this is from the new European model long-range outlook. We call them the European weeklies. These come out twice a week, projecting all the way out to 45 days. If we project all the way up to Christmas Day time frame, the temperature anomaly for most of the lower 48 is below average, with the coldest temperatures here in the western parts of North America. Also, look at the eastern parts of North America as well. This is actually a La Nina, rather an El Nino look, to where temperatures stay a bit above average. It's still going to be cold up here. Don't be fooled by this. It's still going to be cold. It's just relative to the 30-year average, going to be a little bit warmer than normal. But with strong El Nino jet stream winds coming across a southern jet stream that's more active, you do tend to see the southern U.S. be a little bit colder than average. But there's another little factor going on. The Eastern Pacific Oscillation. Now, this is going out to 45 days. So we're actually looking at all the way into the first week of January. What I want you to notice here is here's the strong negative phase of where we are right now with the Eastern Pacific Oscillation, which is a cold phase. But notice the ups and downs. This is whiplash, basically. This is a very active pattern in the Pacific because it goes positive, negative, back and forth. The Arctic Oscillation, which is another thing that we start to look at in December, January and February in particular, is when the Arctic Oscillation goes into negative phases. There's opportunities for very cold air outbreaks across the lower 48. And there are at least 3, maybe 4 episodes that the long-range models are seeing that happening. And when we look at the stratosphere, we see some very interesting things in the month of December going on. Stratospheric warming events. This is for the last day of November. This is for this upcoming next Thursday. What we have, notice these colors here. The colder blue colors, the warmer yellow colors represent cold and warm sections of the stratosphere. So this is Thursday, kind of a typical pattern for this time of year, next Thursday. But if we go out further, this is for the 12th of December. A stratospheric warming event is taking place there. And then if we go out to Christmas time, a large stratospheric warming event across North America as well. Those are cold signals. So December, I think, is going to be a very busy month. Have yourself a great Friday, have a good weekend, and stay warm.